Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. It's the 25th of October, I think, and today we're discussing healthy bones. How can we keep our bones healthy? What can we do to prevent falls, perhaps? And what supplements can we take? We've got the wonderful June Tranmer, Maureen Fearon, and Helen Gibson joining us this morning. But first, I'm going to take you through some exercise. Helen's going to join us in spirit and give us some wisdom, maybe through the chat. Welcome. And if you're joining us on the recording, thank you so much for finding us. On behalf of the People's Health Alliance, you're very, very welcome. With regards to exercise, just do what your body tells you. If you want to stay seated, that's fine. If you don't want to join in, then just wait for the wonderful wisdom and advice coming soon. Otherwise, when you're ready, if you'd like to just stand up and we'll move. Can you see me all right?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, can you see my feet? Okay, so it's healthy bones. I'm a skeleton. Can you see me, Helen?
We can see the bottom of your legs, but we can't see your actual feet. If we need to see your actual feet, then no, we can't.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
Good. If I take my socks off, you can see my blue toes. Might be able to see me a bit more. Okay, let's just have a little side tap. Let's get warmed up. It's Wednesday. We're all well-being, looking after our bodies, looking after our mental health and our emotional. Just step side to side. Do what you can. Allow hands just to move gently. No force. Let them swing. When you're ready, just take one behind the other. One in front, one behind. Just going to warm up nice and gently this morning. If you don't want to get too vigorous, just go with a little sway. Don't even have to lift the heels. No, we're talking about healthy bones. This exercise routine is for somebody without severe osteoporosis, or if you have any fractures, then you wouldn't be doing what we're about to do. When you're ready, we're going to take one foot behind the other. You can keep the arms swinging naturally. Always listen to your body, see how it feels. If you do have any problems with brittle bones, you don't want to be doing any bending or twisting or too much force through the body. When you're ready, take the foot across the front. In your head, you can be thinking, dim bones, dry bones. I'll put a link into the chat so we can find that in the future. Let's go 3 more. We're going to take a little reach to the side. Again, nice and gently. This is not a twist, this is a turn. You're lifting the heel. You're not twisting across the body. Nice and gently. And then when you're ready, you can take the arm up a little bit higher. This skeleton costume is really hot. If you've got no problems with your shoulders, even higher if you want to. Well done, looking great everyone. And obviously this can be done sitting down. You can just take a little arm across the body, even if you're sitting. Okay, bring the arms down. We're just going to lift the feet off the floor, like you're marching, nice and gently. If that's too much, just do a little toe tap. Otherwise, we'll just bring the knees up. Paying homage to June, take the arms across the body, a little swing. Nice cross crawl. That's ever going to stay with me. If you want to, when you're ready, we can take the arms a little bit higher. Keeping the hands in front of the body. And then if you want to, and there's no shoulder issues, you can take your arms up and over the head. You'll find your heart rate increases now. If you need to take it down, just bring the hands down and bring the feet just to a tap. We're going to do this 4 more times and relax. When you're ready, we're just going to lift the feet behind us. Again, if you want to, you can reach down, touch the opposite foot. Otherwise, just keep it here. Let's do this 6 more times. And relax. We're going to have a little squat. So just come to standing in your natural stance and then push your bottom behind you. Nice and gently, just a little one. If you're on the chair, just take the arms forward and just swing them. If you're comfortable with squats, just keep the toes, the knees in line with the toes, and then go as low to the floor as you feel comfortable. This can also be done against a wall. When you're ready, if you want to increase the range and lift the arms, a nice stretch through the chest. You will feel this raises your heart. June is really going for it this morning. Let's do this 3 more times. Again, if you're in the chair, you can just take the arms diagonally and increase the stretch across the chest. Okay, and relax. One of the ways we can put some force through the body to try and increase our bone strength is by foot stomping. This can be done twice a day, 4 times on the left, 4 times on the right. Repeat that twice, and then later in the day. So let's just have a little go at stomping. Literally, as if you're going to crush a can. So you're going to for one side. I can't remember how many I've done. And then change legs. Again, you can do this sitting down. 2, 1, relax, come back to the other side. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the other side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. We've got some stomping. Okay, we're going to take it up a little bit. We're going to do 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. We're going to do it 3 times. Listen to your body, relax when you need to. When we're ready, we're just going to march. If you want to make it as a lower movement, just tap. If you want to, you can get your knees up. And relax. I'm making the time up because I don't have a timer on. So it's around and about. Okay, let's go again. Swing the arms if you want to. And relax. Well done. 3, 2, last time. Well done. Get the knees up if you want to. Let's do 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Okay, we're going to take the momentum up a little bit with a jog. Stay with the marching if you want to. Otherwise, if it's safe to do so, have a little run about. 3, 2, and relax. Okay, another way to protect ourselves, get used to our bones, have a little bit of force, is to change direction. So if we can, we're going to have a little gallop and run backwards. Keep safe. If you want to run backwards, turn, run forwards, turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and relax. Okay, the timing's gone a little bit out this morning. Let's go again one more time. If you can. Little gallops. And run back. We love a bit of agility. We don't walk in straight lines the whole time. Our body needs to move in different directions. 3, 2, and relax. Okay, let's get a bit more of our muscles involved, a little bit more strength training so they pull on the bones and they get the bones a little bit stronger. So when you're ready, squats. What are you going to do? Push your bottom behind you. Keep the knees behind the toes. Chest up, head forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Well done. This next time you're going to repeat. If you want to, you can use your arms. Make it a little bit harder. 3, 2, let's go. So swing up like we did in the warm-up. But you can go faster if you want. 3, 2, and relax. Well done. This next time round, we're going to take a little jump. Land very, very softly through the balls of the feet. Knees soft. If you don't want to jump, come up onto your toes and come down again. When you're ready, let's do 10 jumps if we can. Nice and gently. Land softly. You shouldn't hear a thud. If you're sat in a chair, just do some heel raises off the chair. Get circulation going through your legs. If you've done 10, relax. Well done. Okay, we're going to do some hopping. Strength through one leg. If that's too much for you, go back to a little sprint. Otherwise, one leg, 10 times. 10. And relax. Well done. It's quite hard. You're building up the strength in one foot. When you're ready, change sides. And relax. We're going to go back to the other side and repeat. If you want, just come up onto your toes and relax. Okay, well done, brilliant. Back to the other side. 3, 2, let's go. There's so much to tell you about this morning. I can't get it all out. But what I will do is put the links in. There's some really good information from the Osteoporosis Society, which I've got. Okay, other leg, last time. 10. Relax. Last side. So stomping and heel drops are really good and really gently helping to strengthen the bones. But we really need to work our muscles. So in the future, when you come to do your squats, if you're happy with your technique and you feel safe, you can add weight and that makes it slightly harder. But we can go through that another day. Okay, what have we got next? We're nearly there. We're going to do a plank on the floor. Easiest is on your hands. But let's start by laying down. If you can't do a plank, I'll give you options, don't worry. Otherwise, from here, hands by your shoulders. All you need to do is come up to this position, look ahead. Nice and gently, just lifting the shoulders. If that's too much, just lift your head and lower, keeping the feet pushed into the floor. If you're going into a plank, if you want to come up onto your knees, onto all fours, hands under your shoulders, tuck the toes under, and then just lift the bottom, look towards the floor. You don't want to be up here, but you also don't want to have an arched back. So you're slightly better having your bottom up a little bit higher, otherwise trying to achieve that straight line. Harder is to bring the hands to the floor. Always take a rest when you need to by lowering the knees to the floor or come all the way down. If you need to ease off, you can sit back into child's pose. Relax the shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to go into another plank. And we're going to hold for 20 seconds. Let's go. If you can, think about pushing away from the floor. Keeping the neck nice and relaxed and your shoulders down. We've probably got about 5 seconds. And relaxed. Ease off, you can sit back. We'll do this one more time. When you're ready, into your plank and lift. Think about squeezing your bottom and your legs. It's much easier to hold a plank of wood than it is a stack of potatoes. So think of your body as a plank of wood, not a stack of potatoes. You'll maintain that straight line for a bit longer. When you're ready, just relax. If you're in your plank position, just lower down to the floor. Slowly push back so you're on all fours. And then you can come back onto your toes, come up slowly, head last. Gently come up and we'll just cool down. When we're ready, well done. Just roll the shoulders back a couple of times. And the other way. Well done. What we're going to do is going to take one leg forward, the other leg behind. If you need to hold on to something, that's fine. Just bend both knees, so you just sink in straight down, and then you're going to push the hips forward. It's a nice stretch down the front of the thighs. If you can, just take the shoulders back a little bit, chest forward. Little chest stretch across the chest. When you're ready, ease off, keep holding on if you need to. Just change legs. Bend both knees, sink down, push the hips forward. Hold for a couple more seconds and ease off. You don't have to do too much of a stretch this morning. Take your arms wide, because we haven't used weights, we haven't done too much muscular work. It's been more about getting the heart rate up. And stomping. Turn the palms behind you. Just push back gently. You can keep them low if you need to. Brilliant, just give them a shake. What we're going to do is take our arms wide. 2, 3 big circles. And the other way. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, well done. Give yourself a little clap. Welcome to the morning. And thank you very much for joining. Who would we like to go to next? Maureen! Hooray! Morning, Maureen! Oh, we can't hear you. We are twins this morning.
You inspired
Welcome.
me. I forgot. I planned to do this last week and then I totally forgot. So thank you so much for getting so hot. And I think my glasses are steaming up now that I put them on. So good morning, everybody. And on the subject of bones, we mentioned Louise Hay, wonderful lady, and all her work. Highly recommend people go and explore, especially this book, Heal Your Body book. So I thought, let's have a look at what it says about bones. So see how this connects with you or maybe people that you know. So it's a book that tells us about physical ailments, the possible psychological cause, and things that we can say to ourselves with an aim to reverse and get to a place of our optimum health, to a place where our mind and body is in a state of peace, joy, and being its best. So for bones, it says represents the structure of the universe. So how are you in your world at the moment? It's always good to have a think about that. Ideally, at least once a day, but how often do we do? Rarely. So have a think about your world. Does it feel structured? Does it feel balanced? And the book says, repeat to yourself the affirmation, repeat to yourself, I am well, structured and balanced. But you might have in your mind that little voice going, well, I'm not. Because of everything that's going on at the moment, I'm absolutely not. So what we want to be able to do is aim to be that. So think about if you've got that little voice, and we've all got it, and it pops out either frequently or now and again. What would be wrong if right now your world was structured and balanced? Is there any information coming to you? Either will or it won't. And you can ask yourself this question now or in a month, and you'll possibly get different answers from inside. So we can just simply repeat, I am well structured and balanced. Now, bone problems, Helen will like this one. Rebelling against authority. Do we all do a bit of rebelling against authority at times? It's like, And what we want to be able to do is understand being our best self. So in my world, I am my own authority, for I am the only one who thinks in my mind. So just breathe and just listen to that again. In my world, I am my own authority, for I am the only one who thinks in my mind. How comfortable is that? Either is or it isn't. I'm going to say it again because it really is quite profound, especially if we find ourselves in situations when emotions take over for whatever reason. I am in my world. I am my own authority, for I am the only one who thinks in my mind. Interesting, isn't it? Because who else is in your mind? We might let others into our mind. We might let what others have done to others or to ourselves in our mind, but we are ultimately in charge of our mind. And another one under bones is mental pressures and tightness. Now, often the body, we go through every single day as we go through every single day. And there's an awful lot going on in the background. And sometimes if we're busy or if we're having a particularly stressful day, what can happen in the body is that we can, without our permission or our knowledge, we can create tension. Have you ever been at the computer for too long and then you move and you go, oh, that's all tight? So we want to try and get more aware of that so that we can release it, do some of Kerry's beautiful movements. I love that stomping. That is, especially if, say, for example, we've got some rebelling going on and we want to control, get into, we can do a little bit of stomping and it'll do our bones good, as well as releasing energy and emotions. It also says muscles can't stretch. So if we're all in tension, then muscles are contracted, so they can't stretch. Loss of mental mobility. Well, we want maximum mental mobility so that we can think clearly, we can be resourceful, we can find solutions, we can stay in that place of peace and calm. And the statement for that is, I breathe in life fully. Again, you might have that little voice in your mouth, in your mind going, oh, I can't right now, I'm too busy, or whatever's, or I can't right now because of what's going on. But in these moments, it's nice and useful because especially when you're here with us on Wellbeing Wednesday, the rest of the world is outside. We can have this hour as a holiday for our mind and our body. We can have a holiday from our worries and stresses and all the tasks that we have to do. So I breathe in life fully. I relax and trust the flow and the process of life. Again, our internal mind might go, yeah, I don't, because of what's going on and what's happening and what's happened. And so, but again, we want to take that time cut everything away, because it's safe to do that for a few moments. I breathe in life fully. I relax and trust the flow and the process of life. It's like, wow. And on bone marrow, it says represents the deepest beliefs about the self. So we all have deep beliefs about ourselves, and some of them not right, especially the disempowering ones, especially the ones where we doubt ourselves. And often they can be given to us from events in the past, whether that's childhood or whenever. And it also says how you support and care for yourself. Now, again, dependent on what life is, it's not always easy to do that. These words are said, go and care for yourself. Go and take time out for you. And in an awful lot of lives, it's really not easy to just do that. And it, sometimes can feel like an irritating cliche. But when you're with us with Wellbeing Wednesday, or when you're watching it on the recording, take that as absolutely, I am the most important person in this time, whether you're watching us for 20 minutes or 10 minutes or the whole hour. And say to yourself, divine spirit is the structure of my life. I am safe and loved and totally supported. Now, I'm sure all the presenters on Wellbeing Wednesday, past, present and future, will tell you you're safe with us. We love you and we totally support you. So even if your world is without support and love, Wellbeing Wednesday, we absolutely do. And we send you love every single week. So a useful thing to do is these phrases is to maybe record them onto your smartphone and then play them, even if it's 5 minutes a week. If you've never done it before, that's 5 minutes more than ever. So you can play them and listen and set the intention. I'm going to listen to that. And even if you don't believe any of it's possible, for those minutes, just dream it is. Just imagine it is. And you might imagine all the tension just relaxing and moving away from your bones. Relaxing right through your whole body, your whole mind. So it's a useful thing to do. Now, what I want to do is very quickly is just do on the physical. We often have challenges in our bodies, and sometimes for whatever reason it can feel like our bones are hurting. It can feel like our bones are burning or screaming. I was talking to a lady late last week, and she was, I hate this time of year. I hate this time of year. I'm waiting any minute now. My bones are going to be screaming with pain, with burning, because she's got a particular condition that every year flares up. And that's a useful thing to recognize as well. Not always are we clairvoyants and we can predict what the future is going to be, but because of what we know has happened in the past, in our mind, we predict that that's going to happen. And it's a useful thing to do to actually say, no, this year, what if I don't have that condition, whether it's a cold, flu, aching bones? What if I don't have that? So we want our minds. So if our minds do planning and strategy, and they're forever hearing, okay, the end of October, that's when my bones start burning, and it doesn't stop until February, then it might put it into the calendar. So let's have a try. What have we got to lose by saying, put into the calendar instead, I'm just going to be free. My body is going to be relaxed. It's going to feel good. And I'm going to have great health, great mobility, great flexibility. What if we put that into our calendar? It is worth a try, even if that little voice says, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I've got a strong voice like that. And everything that I've come across, I've tested with starting point of I don't believe it. And the little voice is still there. It's not gone completely. So let's, again, dreaming, visualizing our perfect health. But if we have got physical pain in our body, there's lots of other things that we can do. And one of them, we can use the EFT, the tapping method, to actually manage the sensations. And often when I'm working with clients or teaching groups, what we physically do is a tapping on a physicality. So it could be a mobility issue, so a stiffness lifting the arm or turning the neck or whatever it might be, or achings throughout the body. So we can try that. It costs nothing and it's a safe process. So imagine, just do a check now through your body and see if there's anything that isn't perfect, any aches anywhere. And if there is, just focus on that. And if there isn't, just tap along and let's just see. Can just enhance where you are right now. And all we do, we tap on what we call the karate chop point, which is on the little finger side of the hand. And all we do is just focus on the words that we know, which is the pain. So I'm going to pretend that I have still got a bit of a shoulder injury. So if I move that, right, it's a stabbing pain. So you just focus on that. Even though I have this stabbing pain in my shoulder, or you might have burning in your hands, in the bones of my hands. So even though I have this burning sensation in my wrist and my hands, I'm okay. Even though I have this burning sensation in my wrists and my hands, I love and approve of me. Even though I have these aches in my knees, I love and approve of me anyway. And then beginning of the eyebrow, either side, gently tapping, this aching in my knees, this burning in my wrists and my hands, this sharp stabbing pain in my shoulder, this burning in my bones, all the ways my bones are screaming, all the reasons my bones are screaming, all these pains, my pains. And then just take a deep breath in. And then have a snapshot of what's going on. So if you were working on a particular pain, just go back to that. How is that now? And it might have changed. It might not have changed. It might have gone. And so whatever it is, just connect with that and then just go again. So just listen to these words. They make logical sense. Even though there are reasons why I have these pains in my bones, and I accept that, and I'm okay. Even though there are reasons why I have these pains in my bones, I totally accept that, and I'm okay. Even though there are reasons why I have these aches in my knees, I love and approve of me anyway. These aches in my bones, this burning in my wrist and my hands, these aches in my knees, all the reasons I'm creating this pain. All the ways I need to create this pain. All the reasons I'm creating this pain. I wonder if it's safe for me to let that go now. I wonder if it's safe for me to let that go now. What would be the risk? And just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Now, a lot of people are really quite shocked by saying, I've created the pain. And it's like, well, let's be honest. Inside of here and the body, it's all, we create it. And so we want to ask ourselves, is it safe for me to let go of all of this? We don't even have to know the details. Is it safe? And it either is or it isn't. And there are some times where some people the body has to give them pain to remind them of something. So it could be to remind them to rest. It could be to remind them that they're hitting that stress point that could become dangerous. Could even be for attention, because if I don't have this pain, then people won't help me. People won't ask after me. People will not give me the attention that I need. And it's not about judgment, because if we need that attention, we need that attention. So if the mind brings up anything like that, then you just tap through for that, because isn't it better to not need that attention or not need? So it could be that I'm stressed. So we'll just finish off with stressed. So even though I'm stressed, I'm good at doing stress. And I totally accept that I've been doing too much stress, and I love and approve of me anyway. So even though I'm good at doing stress, whether I need to or not, I'm okay. Even though I'm good at doing stress, maybe worry, whether I need to or not, I've got good at it, and I'm okay. All the ways I'm doing this stress, all the ways I have to worry, whether it's good for me or not, I have to stress, I have to worry. What if I don't? What if I'm choosing now for the next hour to be stress-free, to be relaxed, to have a sense of peace? to know that I control my mind and body. And maybe for the next hour, I'm going to choose to have the best sensations. And then I'll review it. And if I like it, I'll do it for the rest of the day. Take a deep breath in. And just see how that is. So that's only a very quick few minutes. So just check in with yourself now. How are you feeling? What's going on? Has there been some interesting thoughts come to your mind? Because our unconscious mind is that big computer vault that has got so much information that sometimes we ignore. We don't even recognize that it's there. But sometimes it can give us very good information. You know, it's like, your coat's on fire, Maureen. It's like, oh, I'm too busy. Your coat's on fire. Right, well, give it a warm sensation at the base of her spine. No, she's still not listening. Right, give her a bit more. So sometimes our body wants to talk to us, and if we don't listen, it has to increase its volume, and it can do that in many ways. So there you go. So happy tapping, and have a wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Maureen. So clever. I was just thinking when you said that at the end about losing identity if you give up something. If especially us, we are all constantly on the go, aren't we? And that's how people see us. So to suddenly stop being like that, who are we? What part of our identity have we lost? It's
Exactly.
never really thought about it.
And it applies to everything. So how we get angry, how we get stressed, how we have to do whatever we do, especially, and it's not always easy to just truly have that constant understanding of what peace and joy is within ourselves. I was doing a sound healing event last week, and I was laid down thinking, right, okay, what can I do? What can I fix in my mind? And in my mind, I decided, I don't know if you're all far too young to ever, you might have done it in modern history. In the 70s, there was a program called Kung Fu with David Carradine in it, and he was called Grasshopper, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was the Master, and I'm not sure, I need to go and watch it because there was the Master, and he was an incredibly wise man, and he had all the answers for everything in his mind. And there is nothing on this, if I remember it properly, I was only small, there was nothing on this planet that would make him stressed or rushed. And it just came to my mind, and I thought, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. So we can actually look at lots of different ways to manage our mind, because even if I have to move around fast, I can do it without the tension. And so that would be great to actually do it, be fast, but without tension, and it will save my stress levels. So there's so many things we can do.
Oh, we'd be here all day, wouldn't we? Hello, June.
Could you just repeat what you said about divine spirit, please? Because I didn't get it all.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Thought I'd put my doodah back on. Yes. So this represents the deepest beliefs about ourselves, how you support and care for yourself. Divine spirit is the structure of my life. I am safe and loved and totally supported.
That's it.
I should write in the book as well, in brackets, by Wellbeing Wednesday and the PHA.
Well, divine spirit will do.
Yeah.
Maybe we could put those sentences in, or maybe I could type them into the description somewhere. Maureen, thank you. Thank you again.
Yeah.
For this
I
morning.
think that's really good. Really good. Okay.
Good morning, June, and welcome.
So now the frogs are starting. Now I'm having to speak. This is the trouble with living by yourself. You don't talk to anybody, and then you should. Oh, I have to speak. So yes, osteoporosis. Okay, Helen. See you later. Helen did give me some words to say that I'm going to share with you now about herbal remedies that can help strengthen bones. So none of us here is a herbalist, a naturopath, or a nutritionist, but we are gathering information. And as always, the advice is to do your own research. But I make it my life's mission to gather stuff so I can share it. So here we are with a bunch of stuff, and I'll try and be as tight with the time as possible, because we've got the oily witch with her full moon in Taurus and Samhain little video at the end as well. So yeah, herbs and things from nature. Oh, she's back again. There we go. Hawthorn berries. Now, things can happen with calcium that it ends up getting in the blood vessels, which is far too technical to go into now, but trust me, this does happen. And we need to get it out of the blood vessels because it makes things stiff and achy. And I'll explain why in a minute. But hawthornberry takes it away from the blood vessels to the bones. Lemongrass is also useful, as is nettle and the elder plant. Now, we're not sure which part of the elder plant, but it is elders. Red clover and thyme, rosemary, and sage, which are such traditional herbs that most people always used to have in their kitchens or in their gardens or backyards. So something that maybe we want to get back to, because those three herbs are good for so many things. And nettles, I mean, people just pull them up and throw them away like dandelions. And really, we shouldn't. We should nurture them, even if it's just a small little patch, so they don't take over everything. Just keep some nettles and some dandelions because they are so useful. And we have done little bits about those in the past. So we have got more information about that too. I have been looking at Dr. Berg, as always, his little things pop up. And as chance would have it, this week he did a thing, or I saw a thing, I don't know whether when he did it, on vitamin D and calcium and magnesium. So I'll just share that and we'll put the link in for you because it's, she says, as usual, I've got too many things open. Okay, I'll find him in a minute. What I wanted to share was this about boron, because boron is in nature. However, this is from 2012. So apparently there was a conspiracy to keep it from us even back then. But the interesting thing about boron deficiency is it causes the parathyroids to become overactive, releasing too much parathyroid hormone, which raises the blood level of calcium. You see where I'm going with this? By releasing calcium from bones and teeth. So we've got the body kind of fighting with itself here, not doing what it needs to do, but doing what it thinks it should be doing because it's got a shortage of boron. Now, the thing is, we can't actually get hold of borax and boron at the moment because it's really hard to find. But, you know, you can do your own research and find out where it's possible to get it from. And see, you know, this is a thing that happens as we get older. We assume that we're going to get muscle contractions and stiffness, calcification of the soft tissue, which is not necessarily necessary. So, you know, we do not want our pineal gland all calcified. Heaven forfend, that's our third eye, that's our wisdom, our intuition. So, you know, and we don't need our ovaries after menopause. However, we don't really want them calcifying either. We don't want anything calcifying. Kidney stones can be an issue of a lack of boron. So this is interesting because in Chinese medicine, bones are under the element of water, which is the kidney energy. So see how it all links up? Isn't it marvelous? So boron deficiency combined with magnesium deficiency is especially damaging to the bones and the teeth. Boron affects the metabolism of steroid hormones, which of course we know are the stress hormones, and especially the sex hormones. It increases low testosterone levels, so it decreases your testosterone levels in men and estrogen levels in menopausal women. Now, that's probably enough of that, and I maybe can share the document. I don't know, because there's quite a lot of it there, and I'd like to go from here onto the menopause and estrogen dominance, because the thing that happens with our hormones as we get to menopause levels, the hormones decrease. Progesterone goes down, estrogen goes down, and it's not so much about the lack of estrogen, which traditionally, conventionally, we have been told we need hormone replacement therapy of estrogen because our estrogen has gone down, which, as often is the case, not looking at the whole picture, because it's not about the lack of estrogen, because we've got plenty of estrogen swilling around us in our environment from one thing and another, including plastics. So don't store your food in plastics in the fridge, please, because that's leaching estrogen into your food. And there's also estrogen in the water supply because, there just is. So the thing is, you can have estrogen dominance even if your estrogen is low, is because the proportion between estrogen and progesterone are not as balanced as they should be. So that's why there is a movement that has been going on for some time that is replacing progesterone in the body and balancing these things out, because you need the progesterone for the bone health as well as the estrogen. So that is really important. And it's all about the blood flow. Like Kerry was saying, we've got to get the blood flowing so that the blood can get to the bones. People don't realize that bones are living things, and they need blood flow in and out to nourish and nurture them and keep them strong and well. The bone marrow is a source of part of our essential part of the blood supply. So, there's debris in those tissues, the same as there is in any other tissue from the metabolic processes. So this is why we need a good blood flow in and out. So what is it that's going on with the vitamin D and the magnesium? So you see, the thing is, we're all short of magnesium as well, because that's not in the soil and the food anymore, just like boron is not. So Dr. Berg has got these videos, and like I say, I'll pop the links in the chat, so we've got them to go underneath our little video when we get it posted. So that's Dr. Berg. And now I want to just second. Oh yeah, there's a salivary hormone test that you can get to test your balance between your estrogen and your progesterone. That was what I wanted. And the thing I want to warn people about, again, if you feel that your calcium is low, if you're being told you've got low calcium because you've had a blood test, be very careful with the thing that you might be given called alendronic acid, because it's not that great for your body. And it's just one of those things that you think, why would you want to take that if you have to sit up after you swallow it so that it doesn't burn your esophagus? So yeah, just be very wary. I mean, I know some people might need it for a short term, but people I know who've had to have it or feel they have to have it have not done that well with it, and there's been side effects. So just, be very careful. And again, with all of the calcium and magnesium and vitamin D balance, it's so essential to have that balance properly. So don't go randomly off buying this, that, and the other thing. Make sure you get the right sort of magnesium. Magnesium citrate is one of the best, but there's various different kinds of magnesium, and Dr. Berg talks about that. He also talks about loads of salads, which I'm sorry, I can't go along with. Not in a cold climate. We need warm foods in a cold climate, but that's it's up to you. Choose what you want from the advice. The important thing to think about is that fluoride in the water supply and in your toothpaste actually makes your bones more brittle. So really steer clear of fluoridated toothpaste and get a filter for your water. If your water supply has got fluoride in it, it's essential that you get that out of your system for all sorts of reasons. It's a toxin, it's an industrial waste product, And we have been fooled into having the idea that it makes our teeth stronger. It doesn't. It makes them more mottled. It makes the enamel harder, but it also makes our bones more brittle, and again contributes to kidney stones. It's not a good thing, and it's being banned by a lot of countries now because they've realized that it was a mistake. But there are still people trying to encourage us to have that. So yeah, I'm going to now just go back and share my sound. So I get the right thing going on with this lunar eclipse with the lovely Claire Otwell.
And welcome to another Oily Witch update about what's going
Whoops.
on and what you can expect from the colour of time at the moment. This Saturday, the 28th of October at 9:15 p.m, we have a lunar eclipse, a full moon in Taurus. So this is the Ivy full moon happening in Taurus on the 28th, this Saturday at 9:15 p.m. Solar eclipses and lunar eclipses always come in pairs. They show us different sides of the same coin. So a different perspective over the same issue. When we have a lunar eclipse, it's when the Earth is getting in between the sun and the moon, casting its shadow on the moon. So lunar eclipses are deeply powerful, deeply emotional, deeply changing. And with it being in Taurus, an earth sign, this is literally digging deep into all that you keep beneath the surface. What skeletons have you buried in your earth that this moonlight is going to shine onto? So this is going to be potentially very, very a difficult moon phase for you, depending on, again, your chart. Always a caveat is where these things fall in your chart. I do have my moon in Taurus, so yay, I'm already living this, because with any kind of huge event like this, the effects can be felt up to a couple of weeks beforehand, and certainly a long while after. They keep reverberating, and certainly the solar eclipse on the 14th kept going and going, and so the lunar eclipse is going to do the same thing. It's really, really deep, and it's really kind of a turning point. It can be a turning point for people, because we have to confront these hidden skeletons. We cannot leave them just lying there festering away. We need to know what the messages, the things we haven't said out loud, we haven't acknowledged what they are within us, to bring them out, to clear them. And that is the whole point of this moon, is the fact that revealing what needs to be revealed so that we can look at it, experience, feel it once again, heal it, and move on from it. That is the energy around this. The fact it's in Taurus would suggest that it's creating a safe space in order for us to be able to do that, because that's what Taurus does. It's stability, it's safety, it's kind of nourishing. So yeah, it's going to be big. And, you know, Ivy is asking us to appreciate all our blessings. What have we got to be thankful for? So don't forget to do that in amongst all of this. And also, what can we learn from our burdens? How do we turn those weaknesses into power? And how do we kind of turn any challenges into golden opportunities, creating rather than resisting? That's what this is all kind of about at the moment, is all of this coming up and shining a light onto our deepest insecurities, basically. All the things that we don't like about ourselves is quite something to kind of consider this period in time, for sure. And it makes us really vulnerable. So you might have been feeling that. I certainly have. I've already had kind of, you know, my night of kind of, you know, one of my nights of kind of this element of shadow work. And, you know, this isn't the backdrop to Samhain that's happening on Tuesday. So this is the third and final harvest. The veil is very thin. We're at the time of the year where there's more moisture in the air. Read my blog on Samhain to understand what that all means. But in short, it basically means this is when spirit finds it easier to connect with us. So, you know, these can be ancestral skeletons that are coming up. A lot of people are working on their Nessus with me at the moment. If you haven't booked your session, get in there, book your session. This is your ancestral karma that you carry that needs clearing in order for you to move on. And doing it at this time is really powerful, capitalizing on the new moon, the fact that these things are hidden, shining a light, having the Taurus energy to find a way to hold yourself, to move towards self-acceptance, because that's ultimately what we all are after. And, you know, appreciating all that it's taken for you to even get to this point in your life, especially given some of the traumas we've all been through. It's like, how are we even alive? But we are. So that's kind of, you know, how it is. And this anxieties that may come up and all that vulnerability are emphasized by Venus in Virgo, making us really question our self-worth, our relationships, etc. And there might be some kind of old patterns tempting us, but Jupiter is in retrograde in Taurus, so this is an invitation to do things differently, not to surrender to past kind of habits to kind of get through. So the advice is surrounding yourself by people that love and care for you while you do this work and rock backwards and forwards in the twilight. I thought I'll keep the light like it is because, you know, we're going towards Samhain and the shadow time, but this means, you know, being able to call the ancestral support forward and have that and acknowledge that. So there's a lot of factors that play here, but, you know, if you use this time well, you can achieve an awful lot. You've kind of got all the energies behind you to bring about that internal peace and self-acceptance that makes for a happy kind of life once we've uncovered those energetic skeletons and lived through them once again, which can be really kind of deeply triggering and but necessary, because each time we go through that process it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. So as I recount, read my blog on Samhain and Witch's New Year and what it means. You'll find that on www.theoilywitch.co.uk. Look under spiritual blogs and you should be able to find that. If you want to find out where your Nessus is in your astrology chart, then book a chart reading with me, or if you've already had a chart reading, get in touch and I will book you a private session to do Nessus. If all this stuff does come up and you need a kind of support with your family skeletons or even your own skeletons, your feelings of self-worth, come to me for spiritual counselling or indeed get your chart read. That's a really beautiful way to understand your strengths and your challenges and how to make the power out of those positions. So yeah, and if you've got any other issues, like troubling issues about, you know, that you can't put your finger on, then come to me for a 360. They're complete. Look, I hope that's been helpful. I will see you soon.
Okay, so that was interesting. Skeletons in the cupboard, eh?
I was thinking that was a lot of skeletons here.
Yeah, yeah. And she didn't know we were doing bones.
Oh, very apt.
Wonderful how everything kind of just comes together. I love it. I love it. And the
Well, it's
ancestral
brilliant.
support. We are loved and supported by divine spirit and also our ancestors. So it is really worth remembering that. Yeah.
How, like you said, how incredible. All just came together, didn't it? It's like we planned it.
We sort
Oh,
of
well done, everyone.
did.
Thank you so
But
much.
we plan and then we allow looseness around the edges.
Flexibility in our
Exactly.
skeletons.
Well, precisely. Flexibility all the way around, mental and physical.
But when you have all the experience, skills, talent that is brought to this table, flexibility, I think I mentioned before, it's like a beautiful buffet of wisdom and it's so wonderful.
Thank you. Any questions actually before we go? Does anybody have any questions?
I'm just going to pop those documents into the chat so you've got them in case
Thank you.
you guys can look at them, even if nobody else can.
Well, it's great to have them in there, and you know, in the future when people watch the recordings, they can find them, which is always really helpful. And I've put a couple in, as I said, just sort of during trying to keep my heart rate down about osteoporosis and how best to manage exercise before and during, because obviously we want to try and prevent it to start with. But then if you do have osteoporosis, there's guidelines to follow. In fact, I just thought of it, guideline sheet that's on our website. And that's exercise guidelines if you have osteoporosis. And it might surprise some people to know that you should still exercise and move as much as you can. Just take the impact down if you need to. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining us this morning. And thank you if you've watched the recording. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please give us your feedback and visit the website. We've got a new one coming up soon, which will be brilliant and have all the resources. You can find us on YouTube and Rumble, and they will be in the chat, in the YouTube and Rumble description to find all our previous recordings. So much information and wisdom from the wonderful team. So it leads me to say, on behalf of the People's Health Alliance and all of the Wellbeing team, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Happy Wednesday!